Hey, Jose, it's Rafael.
Yes.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Good, good.
Good, man. Glad I could get a hold of you. Hey, were you in front of a computer, or were you kind of just on the
Yeah,
run?
I'm doing it right now. Fortunately, it's rebooting. The battery is done.
Technology is
I
convenient
forgot
until.
to, yeah, I completely forgot to plug it in, and it just died.
No worries, man.
All taken care of.
Yeah, technology is
Give me a
convenient
second
until
here.
you need to use it, right?
It's
So,
been a crazy day. I kind of got a little bit under the weather.
okay.
So, yeah, I'm a little bit out of it today, so you're going to have to, I'm going to have to apologize up front if I just sound a little drugged up.
No, it's okay, man. I completely understand, right? You don't have to hide the fact that, yesterday was the weekend, right? Yeah,
Man.
partying's a sickness too. I get it.
Yeah, well, there was some of that, but actually, yeah, no, it's...
I'm just kidding, man. I'm just giving you a hard time. So, help me understand a little bit while I guess we're waiting for your computer to get started up. Help me understand a little bit about the situation. I've been talking with Steve and Brandon, and
Right.
Brandon wanted me to reach out to you. I don't know if he discussed kind of what we're doing with them, or kind of fill me in on, I guess, where you're at in this conversation.
Well, one of the things is I'm new to the industry, so and I know Brandon and Steve for a long time, so I really, valued their input on, and one of the reasons why, of course, went to work for them.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I figure if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it with people that I know and trust. When they're successful,
And they have something that works.
right? So, and then I started realizing that a lot of people in the industry are getting leads, and what better way to control the realtors than provide leads,
Mm-hmm.
and it just makes it a mutual kind of respect instead of me just going out and begging for leads,
Yeah.
and being their mercy. And that
Mm-hmm.
to me is where, we all come from the banking side. And one of the things that I just don't want to be is in a situation where I've seen other, lenders where they're at the mercy of their realtors, and
Mm-hmm.
you do what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, and you take it because that's your source of income.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where now if I can do this and I have a little bit more control and I have a lot more say so in what's going to happen.
Of course. You're a smart man.
So, right. So that's why I want to, I tell people I'm tired of being the raccoon,
Mm-hmm.
going
Mm-hmm.
out there scratching for scraps,
Yeah.
And so, I want to get into the higher food chain, but I looked at a couple other lead sources, and some, I did doing my research. They just didn't have really good reviews. I have one that I like.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit different. It's I don't know if you heard about it. It's called Clear to Close.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know what they want, and I don't mind spending money because you got to spend money to make money, but I want to spend it wisely. I don't just want to sign up. So,
Here's the, I guess I'll explain the difference. Clear to Close, Bobby and his team, great guys. We actually leverage some of their software over here. The difference in what Bobby does and what I do is Bobby's going to teach you how to do it, right? If you want to learn, take the time, you have the energy and effort and the resources to invest into learning how to do it, then yeah, I would full on recommend Bobby and his team. They're really great guys. What I do is I've already battle tested it. I've proven it out, and this is done with you or done for you. Really here, you wouldn't really be learning anything. You wouldn't have any input on what we're doing with the campaigns beyond compliance. And really we execute all the strategies. Really what we've done is we're leveraging big data, machine learning, software and technology, as well as our strategy to really help you dominate a market. We've developed an enterprise level campaign that really allows us to roll into any territory and start producing loans. So that would be the difference, right? Do you want to learn how to do it, or do you want to partner with somebody that will do it for you? Those are really kind of...
Yeah, and and that's exactly what me and Brandon were talking about, because look, I'm not in the business of, I'm in the business of doing loans. I'm not in the business of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I'm going to pay and I'm going to do this, yeah, absolutely. I would want, for you to do it,
Yeah.
I guess that's what, you're paying for it,
Well, here's the other thing too. Like, I get it. Everybody's got these, quote unquote campaigns that work, and, and I know Bobby and his team, and, what they do works, right? But the reality is you're competing against professional marketers, right? I'm not running Facebook ads campaigns. I'm buying big data and leveraging machine learning to laser focus our advertising campaigns. They're multi-channel and multi-device, which really allows us to be people-based, right? Because we know exactly who Jose is, we can show up really anywhere and really target you. Oh, hey, there you are.
There we go.
How's it going? Yeah, I don't know if you have a microphone or you want to kind of just stay on the phone.
Yeah, I think it works good. Let me see. Let me see if computer audio is working, but
yeah. But yeah, really, gone are the days of just, kind of competing against, somebody's nephew, right? This is not, this is paid advertising nowadays. You really have to understand what you're doing.
Okay. I think I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Let me try to hang up real quick. Oh, sorry. There's too much feedback. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay. I can hear you.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. That's a lot better. Yeah. So, those are really the two main differences, right? Do you want to learn how to do it yourself, and do you have the time and resources to execute it? Right. Because these are things that have to be monitored. It's a completely separate job. Right.
Right.
So those are kind of the two trains of thoughts. And, some people love to control and handle their own thing, and they have the time and the resources and the team to do that. And others don't. Really, there's no right or wrong in this situation. It's really just, where do you fall in and what do you want?
Right.
Basically, we target the same or we help the same audience. Sorry, give me 1 second.
No.
We help the same audience in two separate ways. Really, we serve you guys in two different forms.
Okay. Look, I trust Brandon and Steve completely. So, if they're in with you guys, I would love to. My goals are completely different than theirs. Mm-hmm. I know what they're signing up and I know what their costs would be, but I'm not looking, financially, I can't compete with the $6,000. Mm-hmm. My goals are more, their train is running.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mine is just getting started. So I'm trying to get into from point A to point B right now and generate leads so I can close some loans. And then as my train goes, of course, I want to do more, because eventually I do want to be like Steve and Brandon, where I have loan officers underneath me, mm-hmm. and I'm generating and I'm being able to do the same, but at this time, I'm 150 leads would be too much for me, way too much. Of course, I would love it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I would be able to be 100% on every single one that they're doing, because I'm still in the learning stages. But I do want to. Right now, I'm looking to at least generate to be able to close on a consistent basis 2 to 5 loans a month.
Okay. So let me walk through, I guess, kind of my discovery process, so I can really understand where you are now, where you want to go, and then if what we have is going to be the right fit to help you get there.
Okay.
Now, from my understanding, of the way that Supreme Lending works is they provide you a great back end infrastructure, right? You guys are run and gun. You guys don't touch any of the processing. You're not chasing docs. And really what they've allowed you to do is really nurture your own relationships and focus on bringing deals into your book. Is that
correct
setup? So are you like a branch manager for them, or are you just kind of,
yes?
What is your?
They opened a branch here in Houston, and I'm the so-called branch manager.
Got it. So you're the only LO in this new branch.
No, there's other LOs, but in the branch, there's me and two other, and we're looking to possibly bring another one in.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all working independently, not necessarily they're reporting to me, or you know what I'm saying. We're all kind of just report to Brandon and Steve, because we're all kind of fairly brand new now.
Okay.
If I'm able to generate enough leads later on, I might be able to go ahead and bring them underneath me, so that when I can share loans or leads with them. But right now, my main concern is getting myself started before. How can I help anybody else if right now I'm not even helping myself?
Exactly, right. I love that you said that, because everybody, like all these mortgage coaches and all these industry experts are saying, help somebody grow their business, help the realtors grow their business, right? Add value, do this, do that. It's like, how are you? I mean, you hit it right on the head. How are you supposed to help somebody grow their business when you can't even grow yours without their help?
Right. Exactly. Right? And that's where, I'm right now, you tell these people the same thing, and I'm like, how am I going to help them if I'm not even helping myself yet?
Exactly right. So just to kind of give you a brief overview of what we do, really what the Mortgage Machine does is it leverages big data and machine learning to deliver loan origination businesses the competitive advantage of reaching your ideal customers first, more often, and for less than your competition. So my question is, and I have a great idea of where your head's at, which I love, is who do you compete with?
Oh, I pretty much compete with everybody. I mean, my competition is, every mortgage lender. I'm in Houston. Houston is a huge competitive market in everything. It's growing. I think it's competitive, but I also think there's so much room to grow. And I think my biggest competition, I guess, it's pretty much, it could be almost even myself, because I'm trying to set so much standards sometimes that sometimes I'm my own worst enemy in certain ways.
Hey, we aren't we all, right?
Yeah.
Let me kind of give you a little bit of an insight, right, into the way that we think here, or that at least I think, right? And really this is what our strategy is designed on, is when I ask this question, you've responded typical of the way that pretty much every mortgage banker and broker would. Right. My other competition is other lenders, other LOs, mortgage bankers, other origination businesses, banks, other lending institutions. Correct. Now, this is true when you're competing for the realtor's business.
I got you.
Does that make sense? Right. Yeah. When you're competing for the realtor's business, which is accepting the handouts and trying to work those referral relationships, of course, everybody else in your industry is doing the same thing. And that's why they're your competition. But when you want to compete for the consumer directly, right, to hold the bag and control the deals in the market, your competition is the realtor, right? Not saying you guys are enemies or you guys are versus each other, but that's really who you're competing with, because who does the consumer reach out to first?
The realtor.
Exactly. So when you compete for the consumers directly to hold the bag, your competition is the realtor, right? So that's how we see things a little bit differently. Right. And really what we can do is help you and provide you with a competitive advantage to reach your ideal customers first, more often, and for less than the realtor can. And really what that what allows you to do is create a unique value proposition in the sense that, hey, look, now you're holding the bag, and now you can actually refer out and add value, like you said, to your partners, and choose to work with top producing realtors in a sense where the playing field is equal, not one person asking for the other for handouts.
Yeah, I agree.
Really, the way that we do this is we have a technology that monitors the online behaviors of 225 million Americans, and it creates a database that allows us to identify by name consumers that are actively searching for a mortgage that are in the research and education phase of the buying cycle. So basically before they enter the market, right? When the average consumer before they reach out to a realtor, before they reach out to a lender, what are they doing?
They're deciding on whether they want to buy a house, or they're looking already at some of the houses and all that stuff. But they should be, in reality, the first thing they should be doing is contacting us, to see what they qualify for, and then you would think that would be the first process. But usually the first thing they're doing is contacting a realtor or talking with their families about, anybody that can help me, get started.
Yeah, and you nailed it right on the head. They're researching and educating themselves online, right?
Yeah.
And then what's happened is, because the mortgage industry as a whole has been pushed to this: work your network, work your realtor referrals, kind of get the handout and nurture your relationships. What that's really done is allowed the realtors who compete directly for the business to be in control of the whole market. Really,
I agree.
So because consumers research and educate themselves online, what we're really able to do is monitor and track their behaviors and create a database, right?
Yeah.
Now, our strategy is to leverage this information to identify, educate, engage, automate, and analyze. Now, the end result is to provide your business with a pipeline of pre-qualifications or pre-approvals that can consistently and predictably produce 10 or more loans per month. Now, the primary focus of our campaigns is to directly target consumers that are actively searching for the loans you write, and then get them to initiate a conversation with you by educating them on your unique value proposition and why they should know, like, and trust your business.
Correct.
So I was curious, do you personally, not through Supreme Lending, compete on a local, state, or a multi-state level?
I'm more local than anything else.
Okay, so more local. What's the primary area that you serve?
Houston.
Houston,
just
okay.
Suburban areas, and right now, pretty much just suburban areas. I don't know if you're familiar with the Houston market or the Houston area.
Not really.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the surroundings areas outside the city limit, but Houston is huge. So
Houston's like it's the capital, right? It's like LA.
Yeah, so it's huge. Yeah, Austin's the capital, but Houston is bigger.
Austin, I'm gonna have to delete that from the recording. Pretty much. It sounds like you're in about a 50-mile radius from your metropolitan area, right? Is where you would.
No, not really. I'm inside the city limits, but you can hear. You drive. No, I'm probably about. I'm inside the city. But everything that surrounds the city is in a 10 to 15 mile radius from outside. But
okay.
It's just it's hard to explain because it's so big. Here you drive 30, 40 minutes. That's the norm. That's just norm. So driving around here, I'm
from LA, so trust me. Yeah. I'm very familiar with small, densely packed metropolitan areas.
Right. Well, the thing is, Houston is flat. So it's not condensed, it's spread out. So it's
okay.
So it's widely spread out.
Gotcha.
Like I said, for me, it takes me to cross the city of Houston. It will take me over an hour.
Okay.
But I'm still in the city. And I drove an hour.
So you're saying, or what I'm hearing you say, is the radius in which you would like to compete is probably a 15 to 25 mile radius around the Houston area.
Yeah, that's 10 to 15 miles, I would say.
Okay, 10 to 15 miles. Okay, great. So now help me understand a little bit of, the situation with, you, Brandon, and Steve. Now, again, I've talked to Brandon and Steve, and, I've kind of, told them, and I think they've made you aware that, what this program or what my campaign or what I've built is designed for is really for Supreme Lending rather than the individual producer. Now, right. Really what our goal was to pilot it with Steve and Brandon in the Nashville market, and then roll it out to other areas so that they could provide, value to their LOs such as yourself. Now, where does this, fall into this conversation?
I don't know, because that's kind of like what you just said. Me and Brandon and Steve never really discussed. Like he's more in the, everything they're doing is for them, for him, and like their lead generation would be more for him and Steve, where any lead generation that I would do for myself would be for me, and help the Houston market grow. So it would be a completely separate identity.
Got it.
What they're doing over there would have nothing to do with what we would be doing over here.
And go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, does that mean that maybe later on it can be combined or whatever? I don't know, because this is their show, but
Yeah. Well, really, I think what I'd love to do is really, I mean, more so just help you guys grow as a team, right? Even if it is individual to you, right? Yeah. I understand that their goals and their budget is a lot different than your goals and your budget.
Correct.
I'm just trying to figure out a way for that to work, right?
Gotcha.
In that sense. So really, let me dive a little bit deeper again. What is your, I guess, current strategy for acquiring new customers? I know you're new to the business.
Well, I mean, just what I've been told, and go talk to realtors and take them to coffee and wine and dine them and try to beg for business. I mean, that's basically
right.
I mean, what they say, work in this, but call it what it is. Go beg for business. I mean, that's and it is what it is. That's why, I just look, I'm new to the business, but I don't like doing things traditional way. When it's 2018, there has to be a better way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then and it's like you said, I never really thought about it, but why did the realtors have to have full control of it when, if I'm generating leads and I'm contacting you as a realtor, well, either you're going to work with me or I'm going to take my lead somewhere else, and look, it's a 50-50, people say, well, it's 50-50, but I don't think it should be 50-50. I think it should be 100% they're putting in with me, and I'm going to put in 100% with you, and it's just like any relationship, including your wife or whatever. Everybody said 50-50, but you're only putting 50%, and
you've got a girlfriend
and they're only putting 50%. Where's the other 50% going?
Girlfriend on the side.
Exactly. So it should be 100%, and so. So if I'm I don't want to, like you said, I want to take that control away from them dictating how I'm going to run my business, or how am I going to,
How long have you been in the business?
Since January.
Since January. Yeah. Cause see, every time I talk to, people that have been in the business for a while, they've really kind of been pushed into this mentality with the mortgage coaching industry. Yeah. There's an entire industry that's built on the core, the referral-based business. And referrals are great. You should definitely add them and have them in your strategy, but it can't be your only leg. Really. And that's what this whole industry has. Sometimes it takes an outsider or somebody new to kind of come into the game and realize, hey, wait, I mean, I really don't want to just beg for business, and that's how I'm going to feed my family. Right. So really what we've done and how we solve that problem is we can provide you that competitive advantage of really being able to reach the deal before the realtor, more often than the realtor, and for less than the realtor can. Right. Again, it's about competitive advantage, unique value proposition, and leverage in your business with your time, your resources, and your relationships. Basically, what we know is that consumers, they start shopping for a mortgage online. They're researching and they're educating themselves prior to reaching out to anybody, right? Even before they talk to a realtor, even before they talk to a lender, they want to know as much as possible and allow them and basically be able to make the best decision for themselves and their families prior to even talking to a real person. That's a huge commitment, right? And because of that, again, we're really able to just kind of track, monitor, and purchase that data.
That's awesome.
So do you know what your customers are researching online prior to purchasing?
Interest rates, probably.
Interest rates? Okay.
Rates. And what's that? Well, I mean, I would say interest rates and realtors.
Interest rates and realtors. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Now, do you know what sites your customers are visiting before they reach out to anybody?
Oh, okay. As you're saying.
No, it's a second question. You're right.
I would say Google, or they might be talking about it. It's one of the reasons because I truly believe in the whole social network area, because you hear it, you see the research, people have done it like yourself, that people spend so much time on their phones now. And and if they're on here and they're looking for a house and something appears in their social network, they're going to click on it, just to see what it has to say, So I would say Facebook or maybe Twitter would be, or Instagram, one of the top 3 places that people are doing research. And of course, Google.
Yeah. Okay, great. And now I was curious, do you know how many, I know you've been in the business since January. Do you know how many of your customers visit your website prior to purchasing from you?
No, probably no. I mean,
do you have a personal website, or is it just Supreme Lending?
I have a personal website, and then I'm working on getting my business website taken care of.
Okay. Now, do you have any analytics on that?
No.
No data, no analytics, no tracking, so you'd have no idea. Are you just using it as like a business card, or like hey, go fill out this application so you can get a pre-qual kind of thing, or what are you using the website for?
Well, I have the website is, I mean, that's if it's mostly, I like to take the application personally. If I get a lead, I want to talk to them. Hey, let me go ahead and take all your information. But the website, that's basically for like, well, I'm a worker now. Can I just fill it out online? Great. I send them the link. They go in there and they fill out the application. I get the notification the application was filled out.
And now I'm curious, how many referral partners do you have?
Not many. I would say about 3 to 4, but it's very consistent, and I'm getting all the crappy deals. The
low credits.
Low credit. And that's where, and that's kind of like one of the main reasons of me trying to do this. It's like, because you know what? You're using me to see if I can close this deal, but why
you don't care?
If it happens, great. If it doesn't, they're not thinking that it's going to happen anyway. So, they're just trying to like almost, throwing chum on the water for me.
Just handing you the scraps, really, is what you're telling me.
I'm like, no. That's that's why I'm really now in the point where, there just has to be a better way. And then asking questions, talking to very successful loan officers in the industry, they all said the same thing. I buy leads, and I bring that value to the table. And once you're bringing that value to the table, then it's like you're holding a carrot to the realtor, So,
exactly.
And that's exactly what I want, and rightly so. And I think that's a fair way to do it, to be honest with you, because especially now being the new guy in the industry, if I'm reaching to a very successful realtor that's working with a great loan officer that's not costing them any problem, why would they leave that person?
Yeah.
Come to me. What am I bringing to the table that's going to make that person, oh, you know what? I love the color of your shirt. I'm just going to start giving you loans,
Oh, thanks. I like my shirt too.
Yeah. It just doesn't happen in the real world,
Yeah.
So, and if it does happen, it don't happen to me. So,
and what makes you think a cup of coffee is going to change their mind?
Exactly.
That's
or lunch, they're just using, they're great. I got this new loan officer's taking me out to eat for lunch. I get free lunch today.
Yeah, he brought me donuts and coffee, right? Let's go ahead and send this guy a $5,000 check.
Right.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, we're best friends. That ain't gonna happen. Now, if I'm holding the carrot, say, hey, I want to work with you because I have 2 loans that I need closed and they're already pre-approved. All you got to do is find the house. That all of a sudden changes the way they look at me. You know, now they might have not liked my shirt before, but they sure love it now. You know, so you know, and that's basically the road that I want to take. You know, I'm just right now. You know, like I said, trust Brandon and Steve, and then just hopefully that, you know, since you're going to be working with them, why not do something that they're doing and I'm doing, and we can kind of keep it in-house and family-oriented kind of thing. Yeah. And it just helps them, because if they're doing something, or if I'm doing something that's working for me, of the leads that we're getting and all that stuff, is something that we can share within me and them and with you. Look, it's working in the Houston market, or this, you know, because look, I'm a baseball fan, so I'm all about analytics. You know, I think it's the way it should be. You know, it's information. Why not use it to your advantage? You know, if I know that I've been in sales too long for not to try to use analytics. You know, and get an advantage of what my customers thinking. You know, and if that helps me gain an advantage over the realtor getting contacted me before they contact the realtor, then I can use that client to take to the realtor. That's basically what I want to do.
Yeah, of course. Great. So look, really, let's kind of dive in a little bit deeper, right? So I know you're saying you have about 2 to 3. 3 to 4 referral partners that are kind of sending you their junk deals. What is that converting into loans for you per month? Just so
right now, it's barely, not even one. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm struggling big time, because maybe I'm just not a good beggar, or maybe I'm just not a good person talking, you know, with realtors, as far as, or maybe I'm just reaching for the stars right off the bat, because one of the things that I don't want to do is get caught up in being the low score lender. You know, I don't mind doing that. It's great, but those loans take a lot of your time, and maybe I'm going after the high end realtors right off the bat, and they're just blowing me off, or, you know, because you know, if you shoot for the stars, you get the stars. But if you shoot for crap, you're going to get crap, you know? So, you know, and so then of course I talk to some of the other people, and then of course that's what I'm getting. So, right now, you know, I'm not doing what I want to or should be doing for the work that I'm putting in.
Yeah, of course. Right. And usually what I find in really any business, not just, you know, lending, is really when you kind of struggle, what it really comes down to is your unique value proposition, right?
Yeah.
When consumers have the options to shop around, they do, right? Really, in the end, you have to answer the question of why should they go with you over a competitor? So the question is, why should they buy from you? And what do you have that they can't get anywhere else?
To me, it's going to be the consistency, and also will be availability. And working with Brandon and Steve, closing on time.
Okay. So I'm going to stop you right there. To be completely honest, right? The most competitive rates, closing your deal on time, and availability as in you care the most, are not competitive advantages.
Okay.
Really what those are is you're competing to be the best. And let's just be clear and let's be honest for a little bit. You know, you're new to the business. You're not the best, right? Okay. What happens is, I've got the lowest rates. I can close your loans on time. I'm available 8 days a week, and I care the most, right? What that's saying is, hey, look, really what I'm going to do is give you more of my profit, and that's why you should do business with me. Competing to be the best is a race to the bottom, right? What happens when you're faster than the next guy, right? I've got a 20-day close. Now I've got a 17-day close. Now I've got a 5-day close, right? I can close it today. Right. And really, it's just a race to the bottom. You guys have to provide more of your resources. Right. If you're looking at it from a P&L standpoint, it costs you more to provide those things that make you the best. So what we do is we want to position you as unique. right? What gets you to stand out of the crowd so somebody like a top producing realtor would pay attention to you? So really, that's what we want to do, is position you in a way where you have a unique value proposition. For instance, the one that we've been discussing is being able to hold the bag, being able to control the deals. You don't have to chase somebody. You don't have to take them out to coffee or lunch when you say, hey, look, like you said, got these apps right here.
Yeah.
You want to work together, yes or no, right?
Right.
And now really you're bringing something to the table and you have that unique value proposition. Also, another way that we do it direct to consumers, and I don't know if, Brandon showed you our demo videos. Did you get a chance to take a look at those?
No. I haven't looked at the video.
One of the strategies, right? Everybody's like, well, in lending, it's lending. Everybody has the same products, right? We all sell the same things. There's nothing that somebody else has that everybody doesn't, right? That's not true, right? What we do is we create home loan programs for people with an affinity, right? If you're a first responder, if you're a veteran, if you're a fireman, you're a nurse, you're a teacher, medical practitioner, right? We can create a home loan program specifically for them that positions you in the market as unique, in the sense that when they enter the market, they start talking to your competition. They're talking about FHA loans, Govy loans, USDA, traditional, conventional type of products. When you've created something that's unique, that's special for them, it's a first responders home loan program, it's a veterans assistance program. And really that kind of allows that consumer to really say, hey, look, I mean, this is designed specifically for me. It's at least worth reaching out and finding out more information, right?
Yeah.
So that's really kind of what we want to do, is one of our main strategy is how do we position you to be unique in your market? And that's really how you're going to dominate and grab everybody's attention. So I know that you're not currently paying to acquire customers. I mean, are you open to paid advertising and paying to acquire customers profitably?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why we're sitting here and talking. I mean, you're talking about generating leads, paying to get leads generated, correct? I mean,
not really. What we do is we generate conversations with qualified and motivated buyers that are actively searching for the loans that you sell.
Okay.
Right. We start with leads. Okay. Everybody in this, be careful with leads first and foremost, right? When you get leads, those are things like name, email, phone number, where it's like, okay, so what? We know this person is shopping for a home, but you understand what you have to do with leads, right? You have to work them.
You got to work them. Yeah.
That's the thing, right? So you work leads, and leads can bury you, right? These are the guys that are banging the phones. They're using dialers. They're doing a ton of outbound. What we do is a little bit different. We start with the leads, right? You've heard of trigger leads, right? Right, where people get pull credit scores. Well, we do something similar, right? Except our trigger is online internet behaviors, right? We're tracking and monitoring people's online internet behaviors. We leverage that data in our advertising to laser focus it. So really, once we identify and we have a lead, right? So we scrape, we have a giant listening engine that basically says, hey, look, in this territory, right, we're going to start collecting data for everybody that's going online to like Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, realtors' websites, mortgage calculators, right? And start developing people that are saying, hey, look, this person's shopping for mortgage, right? And that's the lead. We start with that, right? But just because somebody's in market and they're shopping for the loans that you sell, it doesn't mean that they know you, and it doesn't mean that they're going to reach out to buy from you. So what our entire campaign is focused on is starting with the lead and then getting those leads to reach out to you by sharing your unique value proposition and why they should know, like, and trust your business. Does that give you a little bit of clarity?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense.
So really what we want is about 40 to 60% of the people that fill out a long form application with us. Long form applications like 10, 15 questions. Really, that's the premise of it is not like a win a trip to the Bahamas, get 780 points on your video game, right? It's apply for a special home loan program. And then they fill out 10 to 15 questions, which are long form. It's a long form application is what we call it. And then they come to you, and really what we want is about 40 to 60% of those people that fill out that form to reach out to you first. And the way we do that is through automation, right? Now, automation tools are a dime a dozen. Okay. Everybody can send out automated emails, text messages, voicemails, things like that. It's not revolutionary. what's proprietary to us and what our secret sauce is really the way that we're leveraging the automation to generate inbound conversations, right? For instance, if a consumer filled out one of our long form apps, right, they'll automatically get a text message be like, "Hey, Jose, it's Rafael. I just got your application. I just needed to verify some information, or I just needed a little bit more information. Give me a call back at this number," right? Now people are texting you back, or they're replying, or they're picking up the phone and inbound and calling you. Really, that's what we want to do to get consumers to come to you, rather than for you to chase down leads.
Oh, no, I know. Brandon told me that part of it, and I was like, oh, that would be like amazing.
Yeah.
If I could get customers to call me instead of having to call them, that's almost like a dream come true.
Yeah. Well, we still recommend, like, not every, like 40 to 60% of them are still going to call you. Like, here's another expectation that I need to set, right? Right. You know why everybody goes for the realtor referral and the handout, right? Is because it's easier. Right?
Yeah.
Dealing with the consumer directly means there's no trust built, there's no rapport, and you really have to, the same way that you would bend over backwards for that realtor relationship is what you need to do with every client. To really earn that rapport, which is why it's harder, right? Which is why people tend to go for the referral business only.
Well, and you know what's funny is that to me, I don't think it is that way. You know,
it's not. It's the same thing, but
it's the same thing. I mean, if I'm going to spend my time, let's go ahead and spend my time talking to the actual person, you know? And if I could do that, that would be amazing. I mean, that would be, to me, would be.
Because, I mean, even in the regular situation, I mean, you touched on it before, right? Technically, a consumer should go for a loan first to understand how much home they can afford prior to reaching out to a realtor.
Correct.
But the problem is only the realtors advertise to consumers, right?
Right.
So now really what we're looking to do, Jose, is really we want to add partners that have the infrastructure and the systems in place to handle an additional 5 to 10 loans per month on a local level, 15 to 20 on a state level, or 25 or more on a multi-state level. And again, we're really able to do this because, again, our technology is currently monitoring the online behaviors of 2/3 of the adult American population through their URL level navigations, their keyword searches, and their content consumption. We're basically able to aggregate this data and produce a list of people that are qualified and actively looking for the loans you write. Right? So after these people purchase and exhibit key pre-purchasing behaviors, we can actually feed their data back into our system for a closed loop analysis, right? What this means is we can actually look back in time to see exactly what this person did prior to purchasing from you, and then identify patterns in that path to purchase over our entire database. That will allow us to really identify more people that are exhibiting the same behaviors that have not yet purchased. So let's take, for instance, if we identified that the most optimum path for purchase in your market is going to Zillow, then going to Trulia, then going to Redfin, and then going to a realtor's website, and then going to a mortgage calculator, and then going back to Zillow to reach out to a realtor, we can actually identify people that are 4 or 5 steps into that process, focus all our advertising on them, and swoop them up right before they reach the market.
I like that.
So really, again, I guess this is, I mean, I kind of have an understanding of your situation, and normally this is where I'd need to kind of go back, take the notes to form a strategy on how we could help you. But I mean, really, I mean, if you're under Supreme Lending, I kind of understand already what their whole structure and setup is. I guess really it would just come down to, do you have any questions about how we work together?
Well, you know, like I said, I'm more on the local level. So, but I'm that's not where I want to be, you know, but you know, you got to crawl before you walk. So let's start closing the 3 to 5 more leads. Let's start building myself a nice, healthy pipeline. And like you said, how can I help other LOs come into the industry or come in? Well, and as I'm growing, I grow with you, and I can grow my business even more and more until I'm at the state level, you know, where I'm helping multiple people. But I guess my only question, I mean, to me, would come to financing. I mean, it all comes down to, what are we talking about as far as how can we work together and the cost of doing business?
that was going to be my other thing, right? So we don't have to go as high as what Steve and Brandon are doing.
Right.
The only thing is, like, what I've developed is not just an advertising campaign, okay? It's an entire machine that feeds your back end, right? So think of it as a supercharger to your engine. You guys already have the engine, which is Supreme Lending,
Right.
and everything's built out to where you can just run and gun, really, right? Hand them deals, and you're just moving on the fly. You can really do as many deals as you can process.
Right.
But with that, there's overhead and built-in costs with the technology, the data, the software on the back end. And really, again, what's really hard, and normally, I wouldn't really have this conversation because, you're typically a newer guy, and this isn't really designed for your situation, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I understand.
But I do have a vested interest in helping Brandon and Steve, as well as, look, man, I don't like turning people away. I mean, if I can help you, I know I can help you. I hate to do it over price. But the reality is there is some built-in costs with this.
Right.
If I strip down, I mean, you know what I'm, what we've agreed upon, right? As far as price with the other two. Yeah. What I could do for an individual producer, really, because here's the other thing. Now, if you were in the same territory as Steve and Brandon, it would just be like ad spend, right?
Right.
But basically, what I need to do is deploy this into your market, and really, it's a completely different state and completely different territory. So it's not like we're pulling from the same data bank, right?
Correct.
Basically, it's a listening engine. We say, hey, look, go 20 miles around the Houston area and start collecting data for us, right? They're doing it in the Nashville market. It's not – if you were to pull the data from the Nashville market, you can just hop in with them. But because we have to do it in a different area, really what I'm kind of thinking is, I'd love to just kind of do this as a favor, to earn everybody's business and show them that, not only can I help them, but really their entire business.
Correct.
I mean, I could do it for, maybe like $3,500, and that would include an advertising budget of about $1,000.
So you're saying $3,500 a month?
Yeah, that's correct. Because this is paid advertising. Because really, what this is once we've developed the machine, like, I know that cost is a huge obstacle, especially for really new people in the business, right? You don't have a consistent paycheck. I understand that, right?
Right.
Really, what the goal isn't to look. I don't make money on one sale, plain and simple, right? Really, what my whole goal is to shift your mentality from how much does it cost to how much can I spend, right? Because once you understand, hey, look, once we've rolled into a territory, we know we can get Jose pre-qual applications for, $100, $200, right? It really just comes down to how many applications do you want? And that's really kind of what we designed the system to be. It's a paid advertising machine, right? You put $1 in and you're pulling $5 to $7. Ideally, 10 is really always the goal.
Yeah.
Out on the back end.
Yeah.
Where does that kind of? That might be a little bit of a shock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I'm not. I know you have to spend money to make money. I mean, I'm not opposed to spending the money. That's a little bit more on the budget that I was looking to spend on a monthly basis. Mm-hmm. It would be something that I wouldn't be able to just sit down and say, oh, okay, great, let's sign up.
Yeah, of course.
I have to look around and create a budget for myself to see how can I, because in general for me to spend, I would definitely have to be generating more than one closed loan a month. I wouldn't, or two.
Yeah, that's the other thing. And here's the other deal. Okay, I don't have magic beans and I don't have a magic wand.
No, and believe me, I completely understand that. So it would be one of those. Let me ask this: how many leads do you think, or how many referrals, I would say, let's not call it leads, or that you would think
applications. We want applications. That's all we care about, right?
Right. Application.
We care about pre-qualifications.
You think I could generate spending $3,500 a month?
I mean, probably 100 to 150. I mean, honestly, like what I'm doing is I'm doing it for cost for you, really.
Yeah. And that's for, you think I could generate 150 applications in a month?
No, 100 to 150 long form applications, right? These are people that are submitting them, right?
Oh,
Hey, look, I want to apply for this home loan program. And then from there, we want to close about 10 to 15% of them, or convert 10 to 15% of them into applications. So look, let me share my screen.
Yeah. So
real quick. All right. Can you see my screen? So if we're generating about 150, well, actually, it's probably going to be closer to 100, right? Because we're doing it on a reduced budget.
Well, 15%, that's 15 applications.
Yeah, about 10 to 15 applications is what we would want to do. I didn't need to share my screen for that. That was
well, once you switched it to 100, then it becomes
right. So really, what the whole goal is, okay, and what you need to understand again is I don't have a magic wand, right? What we're doing is we're building your pipeline, right, large enough to where at the end of 90 days, you're going to have a pipeline of pre-qualifications or pre-application or pre-approvals. Well, I know you guys do pre-quals already.
Yeah.
A pipeline of pre-quals that can consistently generate your desired amount of loans per month, right? So if you want to be in 3 to 5, realistically, what we see is you probably want about 30 to 40 pre-quals in your pipeline to consistently and predictably, if you're on a normal 60 to 90 day buying cycle in your market, start to produce those loans every month, right? Right now, it's like, okay, look, if you send out 10 pre-qualification letters or pre-qual letters right now, how many of them are converting into loans?
I would say if I'm getting a pre-qual letter, if I get one that's a pre-qual, it's going to convert into a loan. That's somebody that's coming with a realtor right now.
Yeah, but you're also telling me you're getting the junk, so sometimes the realtor doesn't.
So a lot of it.
So I got to know those kinds of things, right? I can only guarantee up until the application portion, right?
Right.
I can't get them a loan. I can't find them a home.
Correct.
Right? So really,
no. I agree. But I would say right now, I would say about from the leads that I'm getting or the referrals that I'm getting, I would say about maybe 25%.
25%. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have 10, about 2.5 of them or 2 to 3 of them are converting into loans.
Yes.
Okay.
If I was to get that many.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing too.
Yeah.
So really, since I know you're getting a lot of the junk, really, if we're leveraging those same numbers, right? Let's see. So out of 100, if we're apping up, let's say 10% of them. Oh, shit. Sorry. So it's about 10, right?
Yeah.
And you're closing about 2 to 3. Really, where we would need to be is about 30 pre-qualifications in your pipeline to start generating that 3 to 5 deals consistently. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So by the end of 90 days, what we would want to do is have, ideally 30 to 40 pre-qualifications in your pipeline. And what will start happening is the stuff that we generate in the first month will start closing. It takes about 60 to 90 days to get a home, do those kinds of things. So all I want to, the whole point of this is really for you to just understand that you need a little bit of runway, right?
Well, no. And I agree.
3,500. I'm not going to make you sign a contract or lock you in, but I want you to understand that, hey, look, it takes time and effort on my side just as much as your side. So until it's the right time where it's like, hey, look, I can afford at least the $3,500 a month, then you really kind of need to budget for that, for it to really kind of go through a buying cycle, really.
Correct.
Again, it would be nice if, maybe you will get a loan in the first month, but the odds of that, it's
no.
Somebody's got to find a home and, like close within what 20 days? I mean, 14 days. I mean,
it can happen, but that's not the realistic goal.
Yeah.
You know? The realistic goal is for the first month, you're really gonna do nothing. The second month, maybe some stuff will start coming in. And
no. The first month, the goal is still pre-quals, right?
Yeah. Right.
It's not nothing. You're gonna.
Well, no. I'm not. I didn't mean saying nothing as nothing. Nothing as to close. That's gonna close. You know?
But I mean, if you know your closing percentages on, like, honestly, like, we're gonna get better than a 50%, right? I mean,
that's
you're getting junk.
Yeah.
I mean, my numbers right now.
I mean, any numbers that I give you is really very unskewed and it's. Because I almost want to start from scratch. I'm start just zero, you know, and create new numbers because right now it's been non-existent, you know.
And that's really what the reality is, right? I mean, odds are if you're collecting the junk, you're working way harder than you have to, and those numbers shouldn't be reflected when you're generating exclusive, you know, conversations.
Correct.
Yeah. So where does, I guess, this leave you or leave us?
Really, I mean, it's just more of right now. I guess I just got to discuss it with my better half. You know, just let her know, you know, what I'm looking to do and what I'm thinking to do, just to get her opinion on it as well. You know, and you know, I'm also going to talk with Brandon. I'm meeting with them later on this afternoon. So they're actually in town. So. They're
is that what Steve flew in for?
yeah, they're in town, so we're going to talk to them and just for us to. I know Brandon likes you a lot, so and then just kind of sit back and see, you know, where I'm at and go from there to see what is going to be my best fit at this time.
And let me know what you guys look. I want to. I really want to do this as a way to, you know, really help the team.
No, I appreciate that.
I'm willing to. The only thing is there are overhead costs. Like, it's a complete system, right? There's a technology that we pay for. Like, I didn't invent, you know, data monitoring. You know.
I understand.
Buy it and leverage it in what we're doing, as well as, you know, there's other softwares. There's an entire management system on the back end. Really, I mean. I want to get it into your guys' hands so I can show you what we can do.
Right.
I'm really just trying to figure out how that could happen financially. I guess if you don't mind sharing, what is, I guess, you know, your budget?
My budget was, I mean, initially was anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month.
$1,000
to $1,000 a month. I mean, that was kind of like my ideal budget that I feel comfortable with. And that's, you know, of course, the first thing that pops into my mind, or everybody was telling me, well, if you're going to spend that, call Zillow. And I'm like, no, I just don't. There's just something about Zillow that just doesn't make any sense to me, you know?
Well, they bought a mortgage company.
They just now bought a mortgage company. So that basically why. So basically, you know, and then I've seen some Zillow leads. I've seen the quality of it. And you know, I've talked to some, you know, you're paying for, like what you said. And I mean, I might as well just pick up the phone book and call from there. You know,
here's another thing, and I don't know how they might want to approach this, but really, if you're saying there's 3 or 4 other LOs in your guys' branch, you might. I mean, and you know, I don't know how open they are to this, or you know, I don't really want to step into that kind of realm. But I mean, really. If they paid for the technology to be kind of launched and like to launch the mortgage machine into your market, you know, maybe you guys could cover the advertising costs, right? Because that's basically what we did, right? Typically, you know, for, you know, their location, we're launching it at about $5,000. That would cover Steve. They wanted to add Brandon. It was about $1,000, right? So once you start adding producers, LOs into a territory, it's not that much. It's not double the cost.
I got you. I see what you're saying.
Right. There's an overhead that doesn't scale. Like, it's like an extra $150 in cost to add another producer, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Plus advertising spend. So I don't know if that's one of the ways they'd like to pilot it, as well as on their own. Really I'd like to kind of focus the pilot on people that know the game already. I know you're telling me that a lot of the people, in your office or in your branch are a little bit newer, which could be great if they decided that we wanted to kind of work something out as far as, a 2-location pilot, which might help really them kind of see, hey, look, this is what it'll do for guys that are already established, and this is what it'll do for a new team.
Gotcha.
And give them an idea of, hey, look, this is what we could expect if we scaled this to our other 4 locations.
I gotcha. Yeah.
I'm not too sure. I mean, obviously, neither one of us makes the decision on that call.
No, that would be something that would have to be discussed with Brandon and Steve.
I'm supposed to talk to Steve later. I think he's still on the plane, or I don't know what's going on.
Oh, okay. I mean, and then I'm supposed to see, and then we're all meeting together. So this is something that, that could be a possibility, and I don't know. It would be something that needs to be, discussed with them.
When are you guys meeting, or where are you guys meeting, I guess?
Are
they coming to you?
Happy hour around 5 o'clock.
Happy hour. Okay. Got it. So it's okay. Never mind. So, I mean, really that would, I guess, be, I think the right option if we're to do it right. Because here's the deal, I could scale it back. I could strip away the technology, pull out some of the parts and pieces, but I don't like doing that. It's not a good representation of my product. I mean, that's really what I built. There are cheaper options in the sense that, maybe it's just a marketing campaign, or maybe it's just an automation tool, or maybe it's just, this part of the system. But really what I've designed is the complete front end of how to fill your pipeline with pre-approvals or pre-qualifications.
Yeah.
So it's not just about generating a lead, because then what do you have to do? You have to work it, right?
Yeah.
It's not complete, right? We want it to scale in the sense that, hey, look, conversations are coming to me. I'm not chasing anybody now.
Yeah.
Right? Not just with your consumers, but with the realtors, and really leveraging, again, your time, your resources, and your relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. So I guess really what we'd have to do here is schedule, I guess, another time to talk after you've discussed more with them.
Yeah.
Talk to your wife, figure out what you want to do.
See what I'm going to do, and then go from there. But I really appreciate you giving me the time today to talk and explain me everything that you do. And I'm impressed. I just have to check everything out and see how I can make this work.
Yeah. Again, the most important thing for me is that if we do work together, that you're excited, right?
Well,
really
I'm excited. Don't get me wrong.
About the whole thing, and being confident that, hey, look, you've made the right decision for your business, your family, yourself, and really that's really what I want to do, right? Is just find out, what it would take to earn your guys' business, really. So figure out, I guess, what you need to do, and let's, I guess, reconnect soon.
That sounds good. Absolutely. Yeah. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah. What would be, I don't work too well, I guess, with my schedule on not scheduling things. Is there a time that would work well for you, or?
Yeah, let's go ahead and put it for Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning. What part of?
I'm on Central Time. So if 9 o'clock for you, be 11 o'clock for me.
So it's 3 o'clock there right now, right?
Yes.
You're 2 hours. What do you want? 9 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock your time?
Yeah, that's fine. And if you send me an email on that, since you're probably right there.
Yeah.
I'll accept it.
Devalle strategy session. Oh. Yeah, let me grab your email real quick. Jose, I'm just going to send you a calendar invite right now.
Yes. Yeah, just send me that, and I'll go ahead and accept it.
Oops, wrong person. Jose Devalle. Right. Okay, I've sent it out. Just same thing. If you could, be in front of a screen, I can do more screen share to really kind of just help you understand the process. Like right now, technically, we skipped a little bit of the steps just because, I have a little bit more background and understanding on, I guess, the Supreme Lending situation,
Right.
and really kind of understanding where you are. But on this next call, I guess if we figure out that, hey, look, let's try to pursue this in some way, I can really dive into the weeds, get into the details of, some of the things that we're doing and how we're doing them.
Gotcha. Sounds good.
I'll also send you some of those videos that I sent to Brandon and Steve, really, so you can have an understanding of how we're doing things,
Right.
the results that we're getting, and really how we're doing them.
That sounds great. Yeah, absolutely. Anything that I can, see and to help me make a decision, I would really appreciate that.
Yeah. Awesome. So, do you have any other questions for me, or?
No, I appreciate your time, Rafael, and I look forward to speaking with you again on Wednesday.
Awesome. I sent over the invite, and I'll send over the email soon.
Yeah, I already accepted it.
All right. Talk to you soon. Have a great day.
Bye.
Later, Jose.